Okay, let's try again. Cut, take two. Oh, look, over my shoulder here is another incredibly beautiful sunset. But tonight, I'm in Jimbaran Bay, which is just the other side of the airport from Kuta Beach. And this is one of the most beautiful places on earth, and the only place in the world you want to be to eat seafood. Now, I'll tell you why. Down the other end towards the airport is this giant big fish markets. And every fisherman from the region brings their produce here, and they sell it like a market style. And there's a heap of restaurants. I don't know if you can see them, they're all sort of outlined in bright lit lights. And in about half an hour's time, when the sun goes down, the whole beach will be lit up with all these restaurants all the way along the beach. As far as you can see, the whole bay is full of seafood restaurants. Now, if you're a bulle, if you're a tourist, if you're an international visitor, the tour operators and the buses and the tour guides are going to take you to one of the fancy restaurants, and they are amazing. You walk up, you pick your own seafood, they cook that crayfish, that fish, that prawn, whatever, to your order, and they deliver it to your seat. And the table and the seats are in the sand with the waves just about lapping up to your feet. It is the most beautiful, the most romantic, the most insane dinner you've ever had. And that's one of the things that made me fall in love with the whole of Bali, is this amazing experience of eating the freshest seafood on the planet with your feet in the sand and the waves lapping at the bottom of the table. It's unbelievable. But, and here's the killer. After coming here a few times, I've found out something. The locals don't eat at those restaurants, because you can also, anyone can go to the markets where they sell the fish. You can buy the crayfish or the snapper or whatever you want, every single type of seafood you can imagine. And half of it's still alive. You can buy crabs, you can buy mussels and oysters and everything. And then you take it about 100 meters down the beach. Before you get to the fancy restaurants, there's these local warungs, these local cafes and eateries that cook your food, and they charge you like $1 or a couple of dollars a kilo to cook up your own food, and you still get the same sit on a beach experience. So imagine that. You bought a whole crayfish for 15 bucks, you've taken it down for a couple of dollars, they've cooked it up, you've put some calamaris and prawns and fish with it, and the whole family can eat for pennies in the dollar compared to what the guys up the road. You get the same view, the same sunset, you get to watch the planes coming and going at the airport, and you get to eat the freshest seafood in the world. So, to make it even better, I've caught up with some of my followers, some of the people here on YouTube that have been watching my journey. They've said they're in Bali, so I said, well, I'll tell you what, if you're doing nothing, come on down, because I'm going out for dinner. And they've met me, and we're going to take them out for dinner. We're going to cook them, Bali style, some of the best seafood in the world. I really hope you enjoy the journey, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to save some money. I'll show you how to save hundreds of dollars right here on the most romantic beach in the whole of Bali. Thanks, guys. Welcome aboard. Okay, so tonight's dinner guests, and all the way from the very first flight out of South Australia, is Bradley.
How are you?
Brad Pitt. He's well, actually he's related to Brad Pitt, but we won't talk about it. And then we've got Jess and Connor. We met them down at Kuta Beach, and they're going to come down with me, my lovely lady and my stepson, Jonathan, Bali Jono. Bali Jono, hello. So we're right up the far end of the beach, because this is where the poor people stay, and they're eating some local delicacy, a bit of fried tempeh or some coconut. But you see the restaurants are all starting to line up. There's cafes, there's bars, and right down in the middle there's all the fancy restaurants. And as you go further down towards the runway, you'll see the warungs and the little tiny bits. Now, the best place to go down there is probably to walk all the way down the beach. I'll see if I can talk them into it. But how can you beat this? Look at that. Another spectacular sunset on the Island of the Gods. Kids playing on the foreshores. Hey, what's the best thing about being in Bali? Everything. I hope to see you guys over here. I hope you can be on one of my little videos one day. Come over here, we'll go out to dinner, I'll show you where to go. I'll meet you, show you some of the locals, introduce you around to some of the best drivers, some of the best tour operators, and some of the best guides in the country. Cheers, guys. Enjoy. couple of kilos in that fella. That's a barramundi. So check that out. And actually a Barra Tuesday. Barramundi they were selling yesterday. Well, it's certainly an adventure, but when you're paying 20-30 bucks a kilo and the stuff has been caught in the last day, so one of the disadvantages we've got today is it's just at the end of the Ramadan festival, so half the fishermen and half the traders aren't here, and so a lot of the markets aren't as open as they normally are, and we're a little bit late in the afternoon or early in the evening, but we've still got a hell of a feed of fish. We're going to take it over the road, get them to cook it up for us, and check out some of the local fare. So this is the heart of Jimbaran Bay, and I just want to say, this is the engine of it too. Look at this.
Look at this, look at this.
We got seafood.
Seafood.
Beautiful fresh seafood. Cooked over the coals, just sensational. Hey boss. Fish, prawns, squid, lobster, everything. And check this out. You want to pick your own crayfish? There it is. For the best seafood in Bali, the freshest seafood in Bali, there is nowhere else to go but Jimbaran. There are restaurants dotted up and down the main drag. It's busy, it's packed with cars, and it's packed with just bags of flavour. You've never tasted anything until it's been cooked by the locals here. The crayfish, the prawns, look at this. You pick your own, out of the tank, nice fresh fish.
Yeah.
You buy it by the kilo, they cook it up, and you get the most delightful seafood you've ever had in your life. There are literally, I don't know, must be hundreds of cafes or rooms, restaurants up and down this strip, all the way from the airport right to the other end. And if you're keen on seafood and you haven't been down here to Jimbaran Bay, then that's got to be on a must-do list. If you're on a honeymoon and you both like fish or lobster or oysters or mussels or any sort of seafood, this has to be a must-do activity. This is one of the first places I ever went to in Bali. I fell in love with Bali partially because I fell in love with Jimbaran, and it's not far, it's just on the other side of the airport from Kuta, but it's just sensational, it's beautiful. So you got to put this on your must-do list. And if you're coming here and you want a guide, I love seafood. Well, we've just had the most spectacular dinner, all for a sum total of about 20 bucks a head, or probably less than that, about 10 bucks a head. It's just sensational. You can live in Bali, you can eat in Bali, you can come to Bali and visit, and you can spend 200 bucks a night, or you can spend 20, 30, 40 bucks a night or something and have the same adventure. I'm going to put a bit of a link to this place here because this is a little gold mine. It's amazing. The atmosphere is wonderful. The people are sensational. The food was just to die for, and we've had a great time. So to my friends who have been able to meet me here and taken my advice and travel with me, I'm glad that they've had a fantastic night. I certainly have, and so has my family. And I'll see you down the track when you get here. Look me up. Catch you guys.